guys, Mike Imbell 556 here. Today I want to talk about building your own high performance 22 long rifle, 10/22 style rifle. Now, I want to start right off the bat by making 2 points. One is, in this video I mean to take nothing at all away from the basic Ruger 10/22. It is an excellent rifle, and it's one of those rifles that I think every law-abiding household should have. And the second point I'd like to make is, when I'm talking about building your own rifle here, we're really just talking about assembling the components. If you can take your 10/22 rifle and strip it down and clean it and put it back together, then basically you'll be able to do what we're going to talk about in today's video. In considering undertaking a project like this, there are a few basic companies that I would suggest that you spend some time on the internet looking at and studying what products they offer. They're Tactical Innovations, Tactical Solutions, Kid Innovations, and Volquartsen. And then there are some distributors that you're going to find very handy when you're looking at purchasing your individual parts. Distributors, the big distributors like Brownells and Midway, and also E. Arthur Brown. Remember, when you're researching this project, Google is your friend. And what I want to do is start by looking at the two custom high-performance 10/22 style rifles that I've assembled, and we'll look at each component. Remember, I'm a consumer. I'm not really trying to sell any one particular brand of anything. These are the components that I picked out for my use. I would recommend that you spend some time researching the companies that I referred to earlier, looking at their products, and then picking out the different components that you're interested in that serve your purposes with a price point that you're comfortable with. But all in all, I think you can build a very high performance rifle. It is going to be a custom rifle that you have designed. Let's look at the individual parts, and we'll just kind of discuss factors as we go along. This is one rifle basically disassembled, and then another rifle. And let's start by looking at the stock. This is a Bell & Carlson stock. It's a Target model stock. I think I purchased this stock from Brownells, and it was about $240. So the Bell & Carlson stock weighs 2 pounds and 8 ounces even. There's an incredible variety of stocks available for the 10/22 style rifle. Once again, I refer you to Midway, Brownells, E. Arthur Brown, one of the big distributors, and just look and pick the style of stock that you really like. One of my favorite stocks is just this Hogue over molded rubber stock for the 10/22. They can be found for around $80 to $90. Very comfortable stock. Very nice upgrade to any 10/22 style rifle. The Hogue stock is 1 pound 15.9, so basically 2 pounds. So a little bit lighter. And then let's look at the trigger components. This is a Kid 2-stage trigger. There are other companies. The Volquartsen trigger has a very good reputation, so certainly research and make your own decision about what triggers you like. I can tell you that this trigger just feels phenomenal. This is a very light 2-stage trigger. The 1-stage triggers from Kid are around $200, and the 2-stage triggers are around $300. Research other companies and pick the price point and the trigger that you're comfortable with. Even things like the charging handle. This is the Kid's charging handle system. These components, you can get different powered springs even. The bolt. This is a Kid bolt. The bolts are about $100. This is their standard bolt. On the other gun, I think I have one little fancy cosmetic upgrade. I think this was about $10 or $15 extra. And there again, just, it's just fun to pick the specifics that you want for your build to make it your custom project. So if you can break down a 10/22, clean it and assemble it, then the only real difference between what we're talking about today and doing that is that you do have to get the barrel matched to the receiver. Now, this is the Tactical Innovations receiver. It comes with a integral rail. You can get these for about 150 bucks. Kidd makes receivers, Volquartsen makes receivers, and they're all reasonably priced. I think the Volquartsen are probably on the higher end. You can get aluminum, you can get stainless steel. There again, make your custom rifle the way you want with the price points that you're comfortable with. One of my favorite barrels were the Tactical Solutions barrels. This is an aluminum shroud with a stainless steel sleeve. The threaded versions run about $250 and the non-threaded run about $200. Also, we have a Kidd barrel on this particular rifle. This is their ultra lightweight model. Once again, for me, I like a lightweight gun rather than a very heavy gun. I put a premium on the gun being handy to carry in the woods, as opposed to a very heavy, solid gun that you're going to bench rest, and you're most interested in extremely small groups. So these are the two barrels that I've ended up with in my custom builds. Let's just talk a little bit about the differences between these two barrels. The Tactical Solutions, like I said, it has a stainless steel sleeve. You can see in the breech end the stainless steel sleeve, and then the rest of the barrel basically is aluminum. The thing that I really like about the Tactical Solutions barrel is that number, 14.4 ounces. So it's very lightweight in the front of the gun, and it makes the gun handle really well. Now the Kidd barrel, very high quality, and there are some differences in the way this barrel is constructed. Both the breech end and the muzzle end are stainless steel. And so this breech is completely made out of stainless steel, so there's more steel and less aluminum in this ultralight build. So what you see is it's 20 ounces, 20.3 ounces, as opposed to 14.4 ounces. So it is a little heavier. And then even the difference in the scopes, this is a Mueller APV with an adjustable objective, as opposed to this other rifle I built with a very inexpensive Simmons. This is a 22 mag with a non-adjustable objective. They come in both ways. This scope is probably about a $35 to $40 scope. The Mueller is a very nice scope, and this runs about $120. When you decide what components you really like, then it's just a matter of assembling them. And like I said, the only tricky part is going to be matching the barrel with the receiver. There are a couple of things that I would like to point out when it comes to mating your barrel to the receiver. These are the standard slip fit type of receivers, and this can be a little tight. Sometimes it requires just a little fine 600 grit sandpaper to very carefully and slowly take a little bit of finish or metal off of the barrel. When you're setting these barrels, you want to make sure that this ridge is perpendicular, that everything's going to be square when you slip this into the receiver. And so I'm just kind of slowly fitting this, and then as we get it in, the V block is going to go in. You'll want to put that in position and then slowly tap the barrel with a rubber mallet or a plastic mallet. Make sure it stays straight, and then get the V-block completely seated. When you do that, these screws do not need to be torqued down. They just need to be hand tightened so that you don't get any barrel droop, and they just snug the V-block in, and then the barreling is done. So what I'd like to do is let's start from scratch. We'll take this barrel back out. And what I want to do now is start from scratch, and I am going to assemble not one, but both of these high-performance 1022 style custom rifles. And we'll do a little time lapse, and then we'll let you know how much time it takes me to assemble both of these guns. I do have a few extra little tools that make this easier. When you take your 1022 apart, you know that one of the most frustrating things can be just getting this bolt assembly back into the receiver. And this little tool is made so that you can help hold your charging handle in position when you drop your bolt in place. So I'll use that in my assembly. That'll make it a little bit easier. I would say that the KID charging assembly has a spring that's not captive, and this can be a little bit more tricky to get this assembled, but we'll put them both together and you'll see how it goes. All right, total elapsed time was 15 minutes to put both of these guns together. The worst part was just trying to get the bolt and the return handle backed in together in the receiver, and that's something you got to hassle with every time you take one of these apart to clean them. The second hardest part is going to be fitting the barrel into the receiver, and it takes a few minutes and a little patience. I'd like to make one comment about the weight of these two particular builds. This build with the Bell & Carlson stock was a little bit heavier. This gun, scoped out with an empty magazine in place, weighs about 6 pounds and 6.5 ounces. This build with the Hogue stock and the KID barrel, using the Simmons scope, weighs 5 pounds, 10.5 ounces. Well, one interesting thing, when you shoulder both of these guns, they feel like they weigh about the same. And I think that's because this gun with a heavier stock has a lighter barrel, and this gun has a heavier barrel but a lighter stock. And so what I find is when I shoulder this heavier gun, the front end of the gun is actually lighter compared to the lighter gun. And it feels balanced and feels very light. When I shoulder this gun, it's a light gun. And so I don't really notice that extra weight. There again, this weighs less, but it feels about the same. And both guns feel very light and very handy to hold. Now, nothing against Ruger, but there's not a single Ruger part on either one of these rifles. And they're a 1022 style. I'll probably go ahead and use a Ruger magazine when we test fire these guns. Now, the only thing left to do is take these out to Bullet Creek and let's see how these guns run. So what I'm going to do for our test now is compare the accuracy between the KID barrel and the Tactical Solutions barrel. I'm going to do 2 5-shot groups, and then JD's going to do 2 5-shot groups, and we're going to use the Eli 22 long rifle ammunition. So here are the results using the Eli high-grade 22 long rifle ammunition at 25 yards. This is with the Kid barrel and the Tactical Solutions barrel. JD and me. JD's a little bit better shot than me. All of these are within one hole. There's just one ragged hole. It's just that JD's holes are a little bit smaller and a little bit less ragged than mine. All of these groups are very tight, very accurate groups. The target under this was we did a little sighting in with just Federal bulk pack, and so now you can see where these are the same. These are the Eli groups right here. This is the Federal group. So we did get a flyer, a very tight group here and a flyer, and then again 4 shots touching and a little flyer. So you can see the difference between the one small hole with the Eli competition ammunition and then the Federal bulk pack. But as far as hunting or plinking goes at 25 yards, that's very accurate. This first gun was built starting with the Tactical Innovations receiver. This is the part that will have to be transferred to a licensed FFL dealer. Then I used the Kid Innovations bolt and charging handle, the Kid Innovations 2-stage trigger group, and the Tactical Solutions barrel. With this build, I used the Bell & Carlson stock and the Mueller APV scope with the adjustable objective. On the second build, I used the same Tactical Innovations upper receiver, the Kid internals and trigger group. I added a little fancy machining for $15 extra. This build used the Kid ultralight barrel, and I used the less expensive Hogue rubber overmolded stock and the less expensive Simmons 22 mag scope without an adjustable objective. There's a certain satisfaction that comes with designing and assembling your own custom high-performance 10/22 style rifle. There are a lot of high-quality components to choose from, so I would encourage you to look around, investigate, pick what you like, and build your own custom 10/22 style rifle. I hope you found this information useful and entertaining. If you did, please consider hitting the like button and subscribing to our YouTube channel. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.